Robert Davis was a man who thought he knew everything about everyone. He lived in a nice house on Maple Street, where all the houses looked almost the same. Robert was tall with gray hair and always wore clean, ironed clothes. He worked as a manager at a big office building in town. Most neighbors thought Robert was nice, but some felt he was too quick to judge others. One cold Monday morning, Robert was drinking coffee on his front steps when he saw someone new moving into the empty house across the street. A moving truck was parked outside, and a woman was telling the movers where to put things. She looked about 40 with curly brown hair tied back in a ponytail. Robert watched as she pointed to different rooms in the house. Then Robert noticed a teenage boy step out of a small blue car. The boy was thin and tall, maybe 15 or 16 years old. What caught Robert's attention right away was the dark blue hoodie the boy wore. The hood was pulled up over his head even though it wasn't raining. The boy kept his head down and his hands deep in his pockets as he walked slowly toward the house. Robert frowned. In his mind, only troublemakers wore hoodies like that. He remembered seeing news stories about store robberies where the thieves always wore hoodies to hide their faces. Robert decided right then that this boy was probably a problem kid. Later that day, Robert walked over to welcome his new neighbors. The woman opened the door with a friendly smile. Her name was Lisa Thompson, she said, and she had moved from a city 2 hours away for her new job at the hospital. She was a nurse, she explained. "And who is the young man I saw earlier?" Robert asked, trying to sound friendly. "That's my son, Tyler," Lisa said. "He's 16 and starting at the high school tomorrow. He's a bit shy around new people." As if on cue, Tyler appeared in the hallway behind his mother. He still wore the blue hoodie, hood up, and looked at Robert without saying anything. "Nice to meet you, Tyler," Robert said, his smile a bit forced. "You might want to take that hood down so people can see your face. First impressions matter, you know." Lisa's smile faded a little. "Tyler likes his hoodie. It's comfortable." "Well," Robert said, "in this neighborhood, we usually dress a bit more properly. Hoodies can give people the wrong idea. Just some friendly advice." Tyler turned and walked away without speaking. Lisa's face showed she was not happy with Robert's comment. "Thank you for stopping by," she said in a cooler voice. "We have a lot of unpacking to do." On his walk home, Robert felt proud of himself. Someone needed to teach that boy proper manners, he thought. Kids these days needed guidance. The next morning, Robert was washing his car when he saw Tyler walking to the bus stop. The boy still wore the blue hoodie with the hood pulled up. Robert shook his head. "That boy will get in trouble dressing like that," he said to his wife Mary when she brought him a glass of water. "Looks like he's hiding something." Mary looked at him with disappointment. "You shouldn't judge people by how they dress. Robert, you don't know their story." "I know trouble when I see it," Robert insisted. "That hoodie means he's up to no good. Mark my words." What Robert didn't know was that Tyler had very good reasons for wearing that hoodie, and soon Robert would learn just how wrong his judgment had been. 2 days passed since the Thompsons moved in. Robert watched from his window as Tyler walked to the bus stop each morning, always in that same blue hoodie. On Thursday morning, Robert decided to take out his trash when he knew Tyler would be walking by. "Morning," Robert said loudly as Tyler approached. Tyler nodded slightly but kept walking. "You know," Robert called after him, "people might think more highly of you if they could see your face." Tyler stopped and slowly turned around. For the first time, Robert saw his full face as Tyler pushed his hood back a little. The boy had dark circles under his eyes, and his face looked tired and sad. "Why do you care what I wear?" Tyler asked quietly. Robert stood taller. "This is a good neighborhood with good people. That hoodie makes you look like you have something to hide. Like you might be trouble." Tyler stared at Robert for a long moment. "You know nothing about me," he said. Then he pulled his hood down again and walked away faster. Robert felt a small victory. Maybe the boy would think twice about that hoodie now. He went back inside feeling pleased with himself. That afternoon, Lisa knocked on Robert's door. Her face was serious when Robert answered. "I need to speak with you about how you talked to my son this morning," she said. Robert invited her in, but she stayed on the doorstep. "I would prefer if you did not comment on what Tyler wears." "I was just giving some friendly advice," Robert said. "First impressions are important." Lisa took a deep breath. "Tyler has been through some very difficult times recently. That hoodie is important to him. Please respect that." "What difficult times could a teenager have?" Robert asked with a small laugh. "Homework. Girl problems." Lisa's eyes flashed with anger. "You have no right to make fun of things you know nothing about. Please leave my son alone." She turned and walked away before Robert could answer. That evening, Robert told his wife about the conversation. Mary frowned at him. "You should apologize to them both," she said. "You are being very unkind." "I am trying to help that boy," Robert argued. "Someone needs to tell him how the real world works." Mary shook her head. "The real world has all kinds of people who dress in all kinds of ways. What matters is who they are inside." Robert waved his hand to dismiss her words. "You are too soft. That boy needs a strong male figure to guide him." The next day was Friday. Robert was working in his garden when he saw a police car pull up in front of the Thompsons' house. Lisa came out quickly and spoke with the officer. She looked very worried. Robert moved closer to his fence to hear better. The officer was asking Lisa questions about Tyler. "He always wears a blue hoodie," Lisa was saying. "It was his father's. He never goes anywhere without it." The officer wrote something in his notebook. "And you said he never came home from school." Robert felt a strange feeling in his stomach. Tyler was missing, and the hoodie that Robert had mocked belonged to the boy's father. "He usually comes straight home," Lisa said, her voice shaking. "He knows I worry. He would have called me if he was going somewhere else." As the police officer left, promising to look for Tyler, Lisa stood alone on her front steps. She looked small and scared. For the first time, Robert wondered if he had been completely wrong about Tyler and that hoodie. Robert could not sleep that night. He kept thinking about Tyler missing and the hoodie that belonged to the boy's father. Where was the father? Why did Tyler wear his hoodie? The questions kept Robert awake as he tossed and turned. The next morning, Saturday, Robert saw more police cars at the Thompson house. He walked outside as officers spoke with neighbors. When an officer approached him, Robert felt nervous. "Sir, we are looking for information about Tyler Thompson," the officer said. "Have you seen him in the past day?" "Only yesterday morning when he walked to the bus stop," Robert said. "He did not mention how he had spoken to Tyler." "Did he say anything to you? Did he seem upset?" Robert thought about their talk. Had Tyler seemed upset? He was quiet, but he is always quiet. The officer nodded and gave Robert a card. "Call if you remember anything else." After the officer left, Robert saw Lisa standing alone on her porch. She looked like she had not slept. Without thinking, Robert walked over to her. "Any news?" he asked. Lisa shook her head. Her eyes were red from crying. "Nothing. No one has seen him since school yesterday." Robert felt he should say something more. "The hoodie. You said it was his father's." Lisa looked at him for a long moment, like she was deciding whether to tell him something. Finally, she spoke. "Tyler's father died 8 months ago. He was a firefighter. He died saving a child from a burning building." Her voice shook. "That hoodie was what he wore when he was off duty. Tyler has worn it every day since the funeral." Robert felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. All his judgments about the hoodie, all his harsh words to Tyler, came rushing back to him. He had mocked a boy who was grieving his hero father. "I did not know," Robert said quietly. "I am so sorry." "Tyler has panic attacks," Lisa continued. "The hoodie makes him feel safe, like his dad is still protecting him. The hood up helps when he feels anxious in crowds." She wiped tears from her face. "And now he is missing, and I am so afraid." Robert did not know what to say. He had been so wrong, so cruel. "What can I do to help?" he finally asked. "We are organizing a search party at the park in 1 hour," Lisa said. "Tyler liked to go to the creek behind the school sometimes." "I will be there," Robert promised. Back at his house, Robert told Mary everything. She looked at him with sad eyes. "I told you not to judge him," she said. "Now you see why." "I have to help find him," Robert said. "I have to make this right." At the park, 30 people gathered to search for Tyler. They split into groups of 3. Robert joined Lisa and a teacher from Tyler's school. As they walked toward the creek, the teacher told them more about Tyler. "He is so smart," she said. "His essays are amazing, but he is very shy. Some kids were giving him a hard time about the hoodie yesterday." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked, her voice worried. "I stopped it when I saw it. Some boys were teasing him, trying to pull his hood down." Tyler got very upset. Robert felt worse with every step they took. Not only had he judged Tyler, but his words might have encouraged others to do the same. What if Tyler had run away because of the teasing? What if Robert was partly to blame? As they approached the creek, Lisa suddenly stopped walking. "There," she said, pointing to a blue shape near the water. "That looks like his hoodie." Lisa ran toward the blue shape near the creek. Robert and the teacher followed close behind. As they got closer, Lisa stopped suddenly and picked up the blue fabric. It was not Tyler's hoodie. It was just an old blue towel someone had left. "It is not his," Lisa said, her voice shaking. "We need to keep looking." They searched the whole creek area, but found nothing. The sun began to set, and the search would soon be harder in the dark. Robert felt more worried with each passing hour. What if something bad had happened to Tyler? What if the boy never came home? When it got too dark to see well, the police officer in charge called everyone back to the park. "We will start again at first light," he said. "Everyone go home and get some rest." Lisa did not want to leave. "My son is still out there," she said. "Ma'am, we have police still looking," the officer said. "They have lights and dogs. You need rest to help tomorrow." Robert walked Lisa back to her house. "I will be back first thing in the morning," he promised. "We will find him." Lisa looked at Robert with tired eyes. "Why do you care now? You did not like Tyler before." Robert felt shame wash over him. "I was wrong," he said. "I judged him without knowing him. I am truly sorry." Lisa nodded but said nothing more as she went inside her house. At home, Robert could not sit still. After dinner, he decided to drive around the area himself. Mary wanted to come too. Where would a sad teenage boy go? Robert asked as they drove slowly through town. "Somewhere he feels safe," Mary said. "Somewhere that reminds him of his dad, maybe." Robert thought about this. Where would a boy go to remember his firefighter father? Then an idea came to him. "The old fire station," Robert said. "The one on Oak Street that closed last year." Maybe he went there. The old fire station was dark when they arrived. It had been closed for months and was waiting to be torn down. Robert used the flashlight on his phone to look around the building. All the doors were locked. "Let me check the back," Robert said. Behind the fire station was a small garden area with a bench. The firefighters used to sit there during breaks. Robert shined his light around the garden and then froze. There was something on the bench, something blue. Robert moved closer. A figure was lying on the bench, curled up tight. It was Tyler, still wearing his blue hoodie. He was not moving. "Tyler," Robert said softly, his heart beating fast. "Tyler, are you okay?" The boy did not respond. Robert moved closer and gently touched his shoulder. Tyler jumped up, startled and afraid. "It is okay," Robert said quickly. "I am Robert, your neighbor. Your mom is looking for you. Everyone is looking for you." Tyler stared at Robert with red eyes. He had been crying. "Why do you care?" Tyler asked. "You hate me." "I do not hate you," Robert said. "I was wrong about you. I am so sorry, Tyler." Mary came around the building and saw them. "Oh, thank goodness," she said. "Tyler, your mother is so worried." Tyler looked down. "I just needed to be alone. To think." "Why here?" Robert asked. "My dad worked at this station for 10 years," Tyler said. "Before we moved to the city. I found out about it yesterday. I wanted to feel close to him." Robert felt his heart break a little. This boy had lost so much, and Robert had only made things worse with his cruel judgments. "Let us take you home," Robert said gently. "Your mother needs to know you are safe." For the first time, Tyler nodded and stood up. As they walked to the car, Robert noticed how thin and tired the boy looked. But he was safe. For now, that was all that mattered. The ride back to the neighborhood was quiet. Tyler sat in the back seat of the car, his hood still up, looking out the window. Robert kept glancing at him in the mirror. So many questions filled his mind, but he knew now was not the time to ask them. When they pulled up to Lisa's house, the lights were still on. Robert had called her from the fire station, and she was waiting at the door. When she saw Tyler step out of the car, she ran to him and wrapped her arms around him. "I was so worried," she said, her voice breaking. "Why did you not come home? Why did you not call me?" Tyler did not answer. He just let his mother hold him. Robert and Mary stood back, watching the reunion. "Thank you," Lisa said to them over Tyler's shoulder. "Thank you for finding him." "I am just glad he is safe," Robert said. "We found him at the old fire station on Oak Street." Lisa nodded, understanding in her eyes. His father worked there years ago. The next morning, Robert could not stop thinking about Tyler and the blue hoodie. He decided to go check on them. When he knocked on their door, Lisa invited him in for coffee. "How is he?" Robert asked. "Sleeping," Lisa said. "He was exhausted. Both of us were." They sat at the kitchen table. Lisa looked tired but relieved. "I want to apologize again," Robert said, "for how I treated Tyler. For what I said about his hoodie." Lisa nodded. "It has been hard for both of us since James died. Tyler took it very hard. They were so close." "What happened?" Robert asked softly. "You said he was a firefighter." Lisa's eyes filled with tears. "There was a fire at an apartment building. A little girl was trapped on the 4th floor. James went in when others said it was too dangerous." She paused. "He got her out, handed her to another firefighter. Then the floor collapsed." Robert felt his own eyes fill with tears. He was a hero. "Yes," Lisa said. "That is what everyone says. But Tyler just wanted his dad back." She looked down at her coffee. "That hoodie was the one James wore every weekend. When Tyler wears it, he says he can still smell his dad sometimes." Robert thought about his own father, who had died 10 years ago. He understood wanting to hold on to something. He had kept his father's watch and wore it every day. "The kids at school," Robert said, thinking of what the teacher had told them. "They were giving him a hard time." Lisa nodded. It started his first day. Some boys laughed at him for always wearing the same hoodie, for keeping the hood up. They did not know why he wore it. He did not tell them. "Tyler does not talk about his dad," Lisa said. "It hurts too much." They heard footsteps, and Tyler appeared in the doorway. He still wore the blue hoodie, but the hood was down. His dark hair was messy from sleep. "Good morning," Robert said. "How are you feeling?" Tyler shrugged. "Okay, I guess." Lisa stood up. "Are you hungry? I can make pancakes." "Sure," Tyler said, sitting down at the table. He looked at Robert with curious eyes. "Why did you come looking for me?" Robert thought about this. "Because I was wrong about you," he said honestly. "I judged you without knowing you. When I learned about your dad, I realized how unfair I had been." Tyler nodded slowly. "Most people see the hoodie and think bad things." "I did too," Robert admitted. "And I am truly sorry." For the first time, Tyler gave a small smile. "Thanks for finding me." As Lisa made pancakes, Robert had an idea. "Tyler, I coach a youth basketball team at the community center. We practice on Saturday mornings. Would you like to come sometime? Tyler looked surprised. I am not very good at basketball. That is okay, Robert said. It is just for fun. Most of the kids are just learning. After a moment, Tyler nodded. Maybe I could try. As they ate breakfast together, Robert saw Tyler in a new light. Not as a troublemaker in a hoodie, but as a grieving son trying to hold on to memories of his father. Robert promised himself he would never judge someone by their appearance again. 2 weeks passed. Tyler joined Robert's basketball team and came to practice each Saturday morning. He always wore the blue hoodie, but now he sometimes had the hood down. The other kids were nice to him, and Tyler slowly began to talk more. Robert noticed that Tyler was actually good at basketball once he tried. He was tall and quick. The other boys on the team liked him too. No one said anything about his hoodie. One Thursday evening, Robert was watching the local news when a story caught his attention. There was going to be a ceremony that weekend to honor firefighters who had died in the line of duty in the past year. They showed pictures of the firefighters, and Robert saw James Thompson's face on the screen. He looked a lot like Tyler, but older. He wore his fire uniform and had a kind smile. The next day, Robert knocked on Lisa's door. Tyler answered. "Hi, Robert," he said. Tyler was more comfortable with him now. "Is your mom home?" Robert asked. Lisa came to the door. "Hello, Robert. Is everything okay?" "I saw something on the news last night," Robert said. "There is going to be a ceremony on Saturday to honor firefighters who died this past year. Your husband, James, will be honored." Lisa's face fell. "Yes, I know. We got a letter about it, but we are not going." "Why not?" Robert asked, surprised. Lisa glanced at Tyler, who had walked back into the living room. She stepped outside and closed the door a little. "Tyler does not want to go," she said quietly. "He says it will be too hard. He has not been to any official events since the funeral." Robert nodded. "I understand. But it might be good for him to see his father honored." "I cannot force him," Lisa said. "He gets very upset when I bring it up." That evening, Robert thought about Tyler and the ceremony. He remembered how much he had regretted not going to his own father's military service. Now he wished he had gone to hear others speak about his father's bravery. The next day, Robert stopped by the Thompson house again. This time, he asked to speak with Tyler. They sat on the front steps together. "Your mom told me about the ceremony tomorrow," Robert said. Tyler looked down. "I am not going." "Can I ask why?" Robert kept his voice gentle. Tyler was quiet for a long time. "Because everyone will talk about how brave he was, how he was a hero." His voice cracked. "But all I can think about is that he did not come home." Robert thought carefully about what to say next. "I lost my dad 10 years ago," he said. "He was in the military. There was a service to honor him, but I did not go. I was angry that he was gone." Tyler looked up. "Really?" "Yes. I regret that now. I wish I had gone to hear stories about him, to see how much others respected him." Robert paused. "I think your dad would want you there tomorrow, to see how much he meant to his fellow firefighters." Tyler pulled his hood up. "I do not know if I can do it." "You would not be alone," Robert said. "Your mom would be there. And if you want, Mary and I could go too." Tyler thought about this. "You would go with us, if you want us to," Robert said. "Sometimes hard things are easier when you have more people supporting you." Tyler was quiet again. Then he said, "I will think about it." The next morning, Robert and Mary got dressed up, not knowing if Tyler had decided to go to the ceremony. They walked over to the Thompson house at 9:30. The ceremony was at 11. When Lisa opened the door, she was wearing a nice black dress, and behind her stood Tyler. He wore black pants and a white shirt with a tie, and over it all, he wore his father's blue hoodie. "We decided to go," Lisa said, her eyes shining with tears. "Tyler changed his mind last night. I want to hear about Dad," Tyler said quietly, "and I want to wear his hoodie there. Is that okay?" "That is perfect," Robert said. "He will be with you that way." The four of them drove to the ceremony together. Tyler was quiet in the car, his hood up, but he sat tall. Robert felt proud of him for being brave enough to face this difficult day. The ceremony was held at the main fire station downtown. Many people were there. Firefighters in dress uniforms stood in lines. Families sat in chairs. There were flowers and pictures of the 6 firefighters being honored that day. Tyler kept his hood up as they found seats. Some people looked at him in his blue hoodie at such a formal event, but Robert gave them stern looks if they stared too long. The fire chief spoke first. He talked about bravery and sacrifice. Then he began to speak about each firefighter who had died. When he got to James Thompson, Tyler sat up straighter. "James Thompson served our city for 15 years, the chief said. "He was one of our best. He saved 23 lives during his career. His last act of bravery was saving 8-year-old Lily Chen from a burning building." A small girl and her parents stood up in the front row. The girl held a small teddy bear. "Lily is with us today because of James," the chief continued. "He never hesitated to risk his life for others. That was who he was." Tyler was very still. Robert could see tears rolling down his face under the hood. After the speeches, people mingled and talked. Lisa introduced Tyler to some of his father's coworkers. They all smiled at the blue hoodie. "Your dad wore that thing everywhere," one big firefighter said with a laugh. "He loved that old hoodie. We used to tease him about it," another said. But that was just James, comfortable in his own skin. Tyler seemed surprised. "You knew his hoodie?" "Knew it? We tried to hide it once as a joke," the first firefighter said. "Your dad made us search the whole station until we gave it back." For the first time that day, Tyler smiled. Then a small voice spoke up. "Are you Mr. James's son?" Everyone turned. The little girl from the ceremony, Lily, stood there with her parents. Tyler nodded, suddenly shy. "I wanted to say thank you," Lily said, "for sharing your daddy with me." She held out her teddy bear. "The firefighters gave me this after. His name is James." Tyler knelt down to her level. "Hi, Lily. I am Tyler. Is that your daddy's hoodie?" Lily asked, touching the blue fabric. "Yes," Tyler said. "How did you know?" "He had it on when he picked me up," Lily said. "It smelled like smoke, but it felt safe." Tyler looked stunned. He looked up at Lily's parents. He was wearing this when he saved her. Lily's father nodded. He had just come off shift. He was going home. But when the call came in, he went back in without changing. He was still wearing the hoodie when he brought Lily out to the other firefighters. Then he went back in for another child. Tyler touched the hoodie with new understanding. His father had been wearing it during his final act of bravery. As they drove home later, Tyler was quiet again. But it was a different kind of quiet. He seemed to be thinking hard. "Thank you for making me go," he finally said to Robert. "I needed to hear those things about Dad." "What did you think?" Robert asked. "I knew he was brave," Tyler said, "but I did not know how many people loved him, or how many people he saved." He touched his hoodie sleeve. "And I did not know he was wearing this when he saved Lily." Lisa reached back and squeezed her son's hand. "That makes it even more special, does not it?" Tyler nodded. "It does." When they got home, something surprising happened. Tyler pulled his hood down all the way. Then he unzipped the hoodie and carefully took it off. "Mom," he said, "can we frame this? Like in a glass case, so it stays safe forever?" Lisa looked surprised. "But you wear it every day. You said it makes you feel close to Dad." "I know," Tyler said, "but I think Dad would want Lily to have it. She said it made her feel safe." He looked down at the blue fabric in his hands. "Maybe it can help her not be scared of fires." Robert felt tears in his eyes. This boy who he had judged so harshly was showing more kindness and maturity than most adults Robert knew. "We can get you another one," Lisa said, her own eyes wet. Your dad had 2 blue hoodies. The other one is packed away. Tyler smiled. Really? Then it is okay if we give this one to Lily. I think it is a beautiful idea, Lisa said. Your father would be so proud of you. The next week, Lisa found James's second blue hoodie. It looked almost exactly like the first one, but was a little newer. Tyler wore it to school on Monday. This time, he walked with his head up, his hood down. Robert saw him leave for the bus and waved. Tyler waved back with a smile. Something had changed in the boy since the ceremony. He seemed more at peace. That afternoon, Robert was outside getting his mail when a police car pulled up to the Thompson house. He watched with concern as 2 officers went to the door. Lisa answered, and they spoke for a few minutes. Then Lisa called for Tyler, who came to the door. The officers showed him something. Robert could not help walking over. Is everything okay? He asked Lisa. Yes, she said, her face full of wonder. The police found something in the building where James died. They are just returning it now. One of the officers held out a plastic bag. Inside was a small notebook, blackened with smoke and water damage. We found this in the debris during final cleanup, the officer explained. It took a while to figure out who it belonged to, but there is a name inside. Tyler carefully opened the bag and took out the notebook. The cover was burned, but the inside pages were mostly readable. He opened to the first page. There, in messy handwriting, was the name James Thompson. It is Dad's, Tyler said, his voice full of awe. His work journal. The officers nodded. We thought you might want to have it. After they left, Tyler sat on the front steps with the notebook. Robert and Lisa sat on either side of him as he turned the pages carefully. He wrote in this every day at work, Tyler explained. He said writing helped him process the hard things he saw. The latest entry was dated the day James died. Tyler read it silently, then showed it to his mother and Robert. Today I helped bring a new life into the world, James had written. Delivered a baby in the back of a car stuck in traffic. Mom and baby boy doing fine. Days like this remind me why I do this job. Called Tyler to tell him. He was so excited he wanted to know everything. That boy will make a great doctor someday if he keeps his interest in medicine. His compassion for others makes me proud every day. Tyler had tears in his eyes. I remember that call, he said. It was 3 days before the fire. Dad was so happy about delivering that baby. He was very proud of you, Lisa said, putting her arm around Tyler. He always said you had a gift for caring about people. Tyler closed the journal carefully. I want to be like him, he said. I want to help people too. Later that day, Robert invited Tyler to come help him coach the younger basketball team. They are just little kids, 7 and 8 years old, Robert explained. They need someone patient to show them the basics. Tyler agreed right away. When they got to the gym, the young kids were running around wildly. Tyler stood tall in his blue hoodie and clapped his hands. To Robert's surprise, the children stopped and looked at Tyler. Hey everyone, Tyler said. I am Tyler. I am going to help Coach Robert today. Let us start with some easy passing drills, okay? The children listened to Tyler better than they ever listened to Robert. Tyler was patient and kind, showing them how to hold the ball, how to stand, how to pass to each other. He knelt down to their level and gave high fives for good tries. As Robert watched, he saw exactly what James had written about in his journal. Tyler had a natural gift for helping others. The boy Robert had once judged as trouble was actually an extraordinary young man. After practice, one small boy tugged on Tyler's hoodie. I like your blue sweater, the boy said. It is cool. Tyler smiled. Thanks. It was my dad's. He was a firefighter. Wow. The little boy's eyes grew wide. That is so cool. Can I wear a blue hoodie too? Of course, Tyler said. Blue is a great color. As they walked home, Robert said, You were amazing with those kids. They really responded to you. I liked helping them, Tyler said. It felt good. "Your dad was right about you," Robert said. "You do have a gift for helping others." Tyler smiled, his hand touching the blue fabric of his hoodie. "I think I'd want to be a doctor," he said. "Or maybe a firefighter like Dad." "Whatever you choose," Robert said, "you will be great at it." 1 month after the ceremony, the Thompsons and Robert's family were having dinner together in Lisa's backyard. It had become a weekly tradition. The two families had grown close. Tyler was showing Robert some brochures from the local college. "They have a good pre-med program," Tyler explained. "I can start taking some classes next year, even though I am still in high school." "That is wonderful," Robert said. "Your grades are certainly good enough." Lisa brought out dessert, and everyone gathered around the table. Tyler wore his blue hoodie, but now he was not the only one. The weekend before, he and Robert had gone shopping and bought blue hoodies for Robert, Mary, and Lisa too. They all wore them now, like a team. "I have some news," Tyler said as they ate. Everyone looked at him. "I talked to the fire chief yesterday. They are starting a youth program at the fire station. For kids who might want to become firefighters, they asked me to help lead it." "That is amazing," Lisa said. "The chief said they want to name it after Dad," Tyler continued, his eyes bright. "The James Thompson Youth Fire Academy." "Your father would be so proud," Robert said. "And so am I." As they talked about the program, a car pulled up in front of the house. Lily and her parents got out. "I invited them for dessert," Tyler explained. He went to greet them, giving Lily a high five. Lily ran to the table. "Look what I got," she said to everyone. She was wearing a child-sized blue hoodie, just like the others. "Tyler gave me one like his daddy's," she explained proudly. "Now I have two." The day before, Tyler had taken his father's original hoodie, the one he had worn when saving Lily, to her house. It was wrapped in a nice box with a note explaining its importance. Lily's parents had put the original hoodie in a shadow box on their wall, with a picture of James in his firefighter uniform. "You look great in blue," Tyler told Lily. "Come on, I will show you how to shoot a basketball." As the kids played, the adults talked and laughed. Robert found himself watching Tyler with pride that felt almost like a father's. "He has changed so much," Lisa said, following Robert's gaze. "After James died, I was worried Tyler would never be happy again. Now look at him." "He is an amazing young man," Robert said. "I am sorry I did not see it right away." "We all make judgments," Lisa said. "The important thing is that you were willing to change your mind." She smiled. "Tyler tells me you changed his life." "No," Robert said honestly. "He changed mine." That evening, as Robert and Mary walked home, Robert thought about how different things might have been if he had stuck to his first impression of Tyler. He would have missed knowing this remarkable young man. He would have missed the friendship with Lisa. He would have missed learning about James and his bravery. "What are you thinking about?" Mary asked. "How wrong I was," Robert said. "About Tyler. About that hoodie." Mary smiled. "But you learned from it. That is what matters." The next morning, Robert stepped outside wearing his blue hoodie. Tyler was already at the bus stop, talking with some friends. He saw Robert and waved. A new family was moving in down the street. Robert noticed a teenage girl about Tyler's age helping carry boxes. She wore big headphones and had bright blue hair. Old Robert might have judged her for her appearance, but new Robert just smiled and waved. The girl seemed surprised but waved back. Later, Robert saw Tyler helping the new family move boxes. The girl with blue hair was laughing at something Tyler said. Robert smiled to himself. Tyler was teaching kindness by example. That evening, Robert added a new rule to his list of life principles. Never judge someone until you know their story. He wrote it down and put it on his refrigerator. The blue hoodie that Robert had once mocked now hung proudly in his closet. It reminded him every day that appearances could be deceiving, that sometimes the things people wear or how they look have deep meanings we cannot see. It reminded him that a simple blue hoodie could be a shield for a grieving heart, a connection to a lost father, a reminder of bravery, a symbol of love. Now, when Robert saw people in the neighborhood, he made sure to smile and say hello before making any judgments. He looked beyond appearances to the person inside. He remembered Tyler and the lesson of the blue hoodie. And when he saw someone in a hoodie, any hoodie, Robert smiled a special smile. Because now he knew what he had not known before. You never really know someone until you take the time to learn their story.